My family doesn't allow me to share good news because of my sister's condition. I always supported my older sister after a serious accident that changed her life. We are a family, and we try to be close. But with each of my successes, I feel that I lose the right to joy. The last straw was my story about buying the first car, to which my mother responded with a request not to talk about it. Recently, there was an incident as a result of which I needed medical help. I have an older sister, 32, who survived this serious accident 3 years ago, as a result of which she was paralyzed below the waist. It was hard for all of us, but especially for my sister. The family rallied around her. We help as much as we can, and I was there at every stage because I love her very much. However, since the accident, I have the feeling that I have no right to anything good that happens to me, or at least I am not allowed to talk about it in the presence of relatives. When I was promoted at work last year, I was so happy to tell about it. I thought my family would be happy for me, but when I tried to share the news, my mother took me aside and told me not to say anything because my sister had a difficult day. In the end, I kept silent. 8 months ago, the guy proposed to me. When I said about it, my mother immediately changed the subject, talking about how upset my sister was about the difficulties in her marriage. It feels like the good things that are happening in my life are an insult to my sister's situation. That's what happened a few days ago. I've been saving up for several years to buy my first new car. Finally, I succeeded and I was very excited. I thought that the family would be happy with me, so I decided to tell you. As soon as the words flew out of my mouth, there was a dead silence in the room. Mom whispered, "Now is not the time. Think about your sister." My sister looked very upset and I instantly felt like the worst person in the world. I'm tired of putting up with it, and I said, "Can't I share anything good in my life? I thought you would be happy for me." No one answered anything and I left the house. Now I'm sorry and embarrassed. I love my sister and never wanted to offend her, but it feels like nothing good should happen to me. It got to the point that I feel like I'm always tiptoed. I realize that my sister's life has changed dramatically. I have always supported her. But sometimes I want to share events from my life. I feel guilty already for thinking that I'm selfish and inattentive. The son-in-law and parents freely talk about their lives, and it seems no one minds. But I, as a younger sister, are not allowed to share anything good next to my sister so as not to hurt her feelings. I understand that she goes through a lot, and I don't want to increase her pain. However, I feel as if I have no right to be happy surrounded by relatives. Now I have to apologize to my sister for my reaction. I wasn't going to upset her. I'm just trying to reach my family. I don't think I should apologize to them. And honestly, I don't think I'll share anything from my life with them in the future. Last night, my father brought the children to us, and when I was bathing the younger one, I felt dizzy and nauseous. I called the groom to get her out of the bathroom and put her to bed. He pulled her out, gave her a towel, and then focused on me. My sister went crazy, started fighting, kicking, pushing, and when the groom let go of me to grab and hold her, she managed to push me so that I hit my head on the edge of the bathroom. It was 10. The groom dialed 911 from his phone, and from mine he called his father to pick up the children. I injured my head and neck. I'll have to stay in the hospital for a few days. When the father came to pick up the children, the fiancé said that we would not look after them until we became their guardians. After spending a few days in the hospital, I faced my inner feelings and emotions. A severe injury not only affected my physical condition, but also shook up many thoughts about my family and relationship with my sister. I understood that the period of inability to share joy became a real prison for me, where I was a prisoner of my own feelings, and now it has affected my health. As I recovered, I decided to find time to talk to my sister. I knew it wouldn't be easy. The day I was discharged from the hospital, I invited her for a walk. We met in the park, and there was a feeling that there was still that invisible wall between us built around bitterness and misunderstanding. I started the conversation, confessed my feelings to her, how hard it was for me to rejoice in my successes and feel guilty for the fact that they can hurt her. My sister was silent at first, but then said that she always appreciates my support, but she often feels isolated from the world. She faced many difficulties after the accident and is afraid that my joy causes her an inferiority complex. We talked for hours. I found out that her dance in life was also full of pain, and the desire for me to be happy was often mixed with a greater fear of losing touch with me. As a result, we came to mutual understanding. My sister wanted me to be able to share good news freely, even if it would sometimes lead to her emotional suffering. She realized that my life and joy should not be a factor aggravating her situation. This was a new beginning for both of us. We agreed to support each other guiltlessly. Now that I hear my son-in-law and parents discussing their achievements, I no longer feel detached. I realized that it is impossible to go through life hiding your feelings. Confidence in the fact that I can talk about my joys freed me from many years of burden. With every open conversation, every support from the family, our affection became stronger. We have found a way to balance between caring for each other without losing our individual lives. In the end, this understanding made us closer, and I was able to feel that everyone has the right to happiness. Together we have come a long way, discovering new forms of support and understanding.